this conversation is. I can tell you today, literally today, I'm on the General Government Committee, and we spent all afternoon and all morning with people coming to us talking about why we should get rid of the cap and trade program in Ontario, or why we should keep the cap and trade program. So while the debate around the province's, I call it the climate cancellation bill, was happening, on the floor of the House was a debate happening around getting rid of the Green Energy Act in Ontario. So while here in Toronto, the fastest growing sector of our economy is the clean economy, it's certainly growing faster than the conventional economy. I look at my home riding in Guelph, I like to tell people we're the clean tech capital of Ontario. We have the largest solar manufacturer in Guelph, we have food innovation, we have more solar installations per capita than anywhere else in the province. We have the largest geothermal distributor, we have 5 green building companies in a city of 132,000 people. So I just see all of this growth and all this potential in the clean economy sector. Meanwhile, we have a provincial government who seems to be saying Ontario's closed for business when it comes to the clean economy. And so I think it's going to take citizens and businesses and municipalities and other parts of our society right now to keep the momentum up that we've built in Ontario over the last decade around moving to a low carbon economy and supporting a clean tech innovation sector. And so I think it's perfect that you have people from Denmark here. I remember I was elected leader of the Green Party of Ontario on November 14th, 2009. And that was just as the Liberal government was bringing in the Green Energy Act. And I foresaw some challenges with the Green Energy Act, quite frankly, and many of my criticisms of the Green Energy Act, unfortunately, have come to fruition. And it was, and I hope I get the name right, Preben Meigard, who's the father of wind energy in Denmark. I phoned him in January of 2010, and I said, I need help because I don't think Ontario is implementing the Green Energy Act right. And the wealth of knowledge and foresight and insight he gave me into how important it is to have local ownership and local buy-in and local job creation, local decision making around the rollout of clean technologies and particularly renewable energy was just so smart and so insightful. And I immediately called George Smith, who was the Minister of Energy at that time, and said, I know you went to Denmark, but you guys aren't implementing this right. And the father of wind energy says you're not. And I really wish Ontario had listened, actually, and learned. Because I think we'd be in a very different place right now if we had embraced and put community power at the forefront instead of corporate power. And Denmark really has led the way in that regard. And so when I talk in the Ontario legislature, when I go around communities across the province, I talk about the way in which Denmark rolled out renewable energy and just the support there is for it. And I don't want to talk very long, and unfortunately I'm going to be one of these politicians that does something that I dislike when politicians do, is show up, speak, and leave. But I have another event tonight, and I have to be back in a committee early tomorrow morning. And so I have a little bit of preparation to do. But I also want to just say how inspired I am by the way in which Copenhagen has gone from a car-centric city, probably 30, 40 years ago, to now a city that's just leading the way internationally in terms of cycling. And you know, I look at places like Toronto and Guelph and other communities across Ontario, and we have so far to go. And as co-chair of the all-party parliamentary caucus for cycling in Ontario, I just want to say how much that I want to learn from your example. And thank you for being a shining example for those of us around the world. And I'm hoping the conversations that you have tonight and you move forward with, really maintains Ontario's leadership, at least in North America, in ushering in the clean economy. And I can't tell you just how critically important this work is. And Rob, I just want to really just give you a shout out in your office and the city for the great work you're doing, with green buildings, green roofs, cycling, clean tech, clean energy, all of that, and just let you know how supportive I am of that work and how I'd like to do everything I can to work with you in collaboration to bring that to Queen's Park and to make sure we have a strong voice in Queen's Park. So thank you so much for inviting me to be here tonight. Thank you so much for the great work all of you are doing. And I just want to leave you by saying that the work you're doing is essential right now. Ontario is not going to meet its climate obligations if you don't do the work you're doing. And so thank you so much for that. And have a productive, wonderful, fantastic evening. Thank you.
Thank you.